everyone. We'll just be getting started in a few seconds here. Just bear with me. I'm just right now balancing some audio. It's been a minute, so I'm just making sure that everything's good and well. Just let me finish up some settings here. I apologize. Just finish this. I know I'm running a little bit late, and I'll explain what's going on in a minute here. Let me just get everything set up. I apologize. Okay. Looks good. That looks good. I was just having an audio issue, but I'm glad everyone that is here. I'm not checking the chat right now. Everyone that is here, I'm happy that you're here. And everyone that isn't here, we still love you. This is probably the least effort I've put into a thumbnail because I've been so rushed. We'll get into that in just a second. Okay. I think everything is good now. Let me just check. That looks good. All right. Let me go to our face cam here. Hello, everybody. This is the first full face cam environment, I guess, that we're doing. Hello from Anthony Sucarella, says, hey B, sending love from Niagara Falls, New York. Hello from my friend across the stream there. Catherine says howdy. Chad says hiss meow. Deontay Bates says hi. Jamie says howdy everyone. Hello everyone that's tuning in. Once again, I'm sorry for such a low effort thumbnail. These past couple days have been such a rush. I've been like, there's so much stuff that I realized that I had to do or had to get done this. Sorry, let me move this over here so I can monitor my stream at the same time and still look like I'm looking at you guys. But there's so much stuff I've had to get done in the past couple days that I didn't even realize. And then like just things that I forgot. Like for those of you who are in our Discord, you'll know that I was actually in Missouri, and that's why we missed the last couple streams and our schedule kind of got thrown off a little bit. But we will be back to our regular streaming schedule next week. And because I was so pressed for time, I figured I'd just do like a nice just chatting, sort of like talking face, me talking with you guys. If you have any questions for me, I have any questions for you kind of thing. And yeah, we can just kind of shoot back and forth. But oh my God, I left for Missouri. We were gone for 8 days on a filming trip with Bright Sun Film. That's where I got this cool little corduroy baseball cap that I got. But I didn't realize that when I went away, I had left bananas on the counter, and I didn't even realize until today. Yesterday, I cleaned up all the bananas and stuff because it became Fruit Fly Nation. You can see a couple of them actually flying through the light here and there. So if you see me swatting at what looks like a ghost, it's probably a fruit fly, to be honest. But yeah, so yesterday I cleaned up all the fruit that I had left out, and it was just a complete disaster, complete mess. And then today I realized that I had potatoes that had also been infested in my furnace room. So spent a good portion of today cleaning that out, getting things ready, unpacking, packing for another trip, all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare with these fruit flies here. I have like bowls set up everywhere with the apple cider vinegar and dish soap, which is supposed to help kill them, but it really hasn't been doing it for me so far. It's not an immediate sort of process. Nathan Cochran says, yo dude, hope you're good, man. I am good. I hope you're also doing good. It's been a minute. Oh yeah, you see this? Oh my God, these fruit flies flying through. So yeah, I'm not living in a dump. I'm not like Ray from Trailer Park Boys. I just have a fruit fly infestation right now, as you guys can see. Deontay says, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Can we ask anything? You may. I'll answer what I can. What I can't answer, I'll try my best to give an aptitude answer for you guys. Chad says, have you danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I have not yet. He says, oh no, so much spoiled food. I know, it was 2 bananas, a tomato, and then my whole bag of potatoes that just went bad, completely under my radar. And like, I haven't even had time to shave. As you can see, I got my stubble and stuff here. But I think in the chat here, I can start a Q&A. I don't know how this works. You can ask stuff in chat too. but I'm just gonna try this out for the sake of like testing. I really didn't have a plan for this stream. I just wanted to get something out and talk to you guys, because it's been 3 live streams since I've been able to, because I've been gone for 8 days, and it's overlapped, unfortunately, 3 streams, I think. So I figured, you know what? I miss you guys. I hope you miss me. And yeah, I wanted to see you guys, see how you're doing, you know? Oh, let me pop out the chat too so I can actually see it here. Oops, what did I do? No, I don't want to send Google feedback. Sorry. Yeah, like I said, it's chaotic and interesting. I don't know what this Q&A does, but I think questions will pop up here at the top. But as to answer Chad's question, no, I've not danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. I also figured I'd tell some stories, because some people have been asking me about the Brennan or the Bevo lore, my life in general, things like that. So I'll start from some early on stories while I monitor chat here. Turn the whole place into one of those fridges. I know, Jamie, it's so bad right now. And you'll see, like, because we have it on full frame, the camera has a bit of a bigger image. You'll see these little fruit flies buzzing in and out of my set. They're driving me insane here. But I've just been super busy. Missed you too. Oh, I miss you too, Catherine. I missed all you guys. You know, it's been a minute. We've gone through some heinous challenges. We've gone on a cooking show. We've done a lot together since we started this channel 2 or 3 months ago. But yeah, I guess I'll start by talking about where do I want to start? We'll start around high school era. I used to some people were asking me about what I did in high school. I played hockey all throughout my whole life. I was always played on the Flamborough Sabres. I could have maybe gone for a bit higher division. I just never wanted to try out, and I told my dad I never wanted to waste him to waste his money on tryouts, because they were a bit expensive. And I had like all my friends on my hockey team, so for me it was, even though I was decent at hockey, I had more or so enjoyed playing with my friends and never really wanted to step outside of that. So throughout high school I did hockey, as well as I was in, I don't know if you guys have any in the States or whatever, have any cadet programs or like Army cadets, but I was an Army cadet for a good, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years. We did lots of, Deontay says, be right back. All right, well, we'll be waiting, my friend. But I was in Army cadets for 4 or 5 years. A couple of my neighbors that I like would always hang out with, because I lived on a court, so all the kids on the court were like very close. And whenever somebody got into something, we kind of all got into something, like whether it was baseball, whether it was like go-karting or something like that, we'd all just like, all the kids in the court would hang out, play road hockey, and we were all very involved in each other. You'd do the classic rounds where you'd knock on all the house doors, summoning all the kids to the the court games and stuff. Erudwin, hey there, managed to catch you for a couple of minutes. Well, I'm glad you could tune in. This is the live Q&A stream. I doubt we'll be getting many outside people aside from from subscribers, because of how bad the thumbnail is. It's like comically bad, but I really didn't have too much time to set up or plan this stream, so it's kind of just an off-the-cuff situation. But if you are here for the first time, I'm sorry. Aflad, hello. Army cadet, interesting. I wonder if that's similar to Boy Scouts. It's kind of like Boy Scouts focused more on, I think, like wildlife and sort of like camping and all that fun stuff. Cadets focused on that too, but there was a military aspect to Army cadets. There was Army cadets, Sea cadets, and Air cadets. Air cadets you could actually go and get your pilot's license through, or get like the initial steps to set up your pilot license through. Army cadets, it was kind of like almost like a recruiting for like the reservists, which is like the reg or like the military. It was like very military-esque, like drills. Like we had uniform, we did drill, we did shooting, and I'll get to that in a minute because I have a whole batch of stories about that. But we'd also do field training exercises and like garrisons and stuff, where we'd go out camp, we'd do like orienteering, all that fun stuff. We'd learn about like chain of command, the phonetic alphabet, all that fun stuff, and like call signs. We'd learn like how to attack a defensive position, how to like cover like different tactics, fun stuff like that. And then there was also like adventure racing stuff that we did like that. It was very cool, very interesting program. You'd get like medals and stuff too, and different like ranks. I ranked up to I was a sergeant by the time, potentially acting warrant officer by the time I checked out. But I always hockey always took priority over cadets, so that's why I never got super high up in cadets, but I was with it all the way. You could go from, I think it's ages 12 to 18, and I think I went from about 12 to about 17. And then every summer they would have big summer camps where you'd actually go away and you'd get paid. And there was different courses, like you could do outdoors course like canoeing, you could do marksmanship, which was what I would always want to do. You could do general training, you could do I don't even know, there was so many different specializations. There was like biathlon, there was the parachuting course for the airborne, to get your like parachuting wings. There was, I'm trying to think, there was like a drill instructor's course, but the only one that I was ever interested in really was just shooting and biathlon, and I'll get into that in a few moments. I'm just going to read some more of the comments here. Nice paint-esque thumbnail. I know, I literally drafted it on paint.net, put in Comic Sans just for fun, and slapped up one of my pre-photoshopped thumbnails I got going on there. But yeah, unfortunately, like I said, I have soccer tonight. It's our semifinal game at 7:00. So I'm just going to be talking for probably like an hour and a half-ish, just chilling the vibes with you guys, seeing what questions you got, seeing what comments you got, telling you a little bit about my life and lore. And for anyone who missed this stream, because I know there was a couple people requesting it, I apologize. Those of you who've caught it, I really appreciate you being here, and I'm sorry that I abandoned you for a week. It was work issues, and I'll get into that. Colin says, thoughts on 1 pound fish. Where are these questions going, Jamie? I have no idea. I think I end the Q&A and then the questions get sent to me. I don't really know how it works. But we'll see in a sec. I'll end the Q&A and maybe restart another one and see if these questions pop up. But yeah, what did I think that was what I was thinking. Very cool programs. Yeah, it definitely taught me a lot of life skills. Colin was actually an Army cadet here that he's in the chat right now. It says that's a 1 pound fish. You know what I think about 1 pound fish? It's a very good price, very nice. Erwoodwin says, already asked once, this will be a bit spammy, but any plans to stream during the weekends in the future? I actually am dabbling with I'm potentially thinking about doing like a Sunday or a Saturday stream. It's just my weekends have been super busy because of the summer. So like maybe as the fall rolls out, I'll have more time to be streaming on the weekends. I definitely want to start integrating that. It's just a matter of, I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to maintain as consistent as Tuesday, Thursdays. I know I've been okay with maintaining my Tuesday, Thursdays. I've tried as hard as I can to get streams out here and there, but if I do a Sunday stream, I'll just try to announce it as much as possible, because I do want to start doing more than just 2 a week. Even though these 2 a week have definitely kept me busy, I enjoy it enough where I'm having fun, and I think a weekend stream here and there would be a lot of fun. So if you are interested, let me know. And you'll probably hear about that either through the community section of my YouTube channel page, or on our Discord, where I try to keep everyone as updated and informed as possible. So I'm hoping that if I do start doing weekend streams, I will definitely be posting about it on our Discord site. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. And yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I feel like I'll still probably stick to the schedule of Tuesday being our like creative sort of out of the box stream, then Thursday being like our gaming stream, and then if I did a weekend stream, it'd probably be just something random, something fun. Could be IRL, could be gaming, could be gaming with friends, could be gaming with viewers. I haven't thought about it too much, but I definitely want to start expanding the schedule as we get going out. Smiley says hi. Hello, Smiley. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while, but we all missed you. Catherine says, can I get that social security number? I mean, I don't give it up that easy. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to maybe in a later stream, that'll be a forfeit. I'll give you guys my social security number and you can steal my whole identity, all that fun stuff. But to answer your question, yes, on the weekends I wanted to get some streams out. No, you cannot have my social security number yet. Colin says, are you going to hockey tonight even though it's canceled? Wait, Is hockey tonight actually canceled? Is that true, Colin? If that's true, that frees up a whole chunk of the night, and I definitely should have done my streaming after soccer. But because I have soccer, like we have our game around 7, so that's why I gotta leave around 6:30. But let me know if you could comment that, Colin, because I haven't been checking our group chat at all. That would be crazy. Any horror games you are thinking to play this month? I really want to. It's not necessarily, I mean, I guess it is categorized as horror, but I want to play Left 4 Dead, the campaign. I think it would be really fun to do. I know a couple of my friends have been itching to play it as well. I think it'd be really fun to do I don't know if anyone's familiar with Left 4 Dead, but the Noam Chomsky achievement. It's basically like you have to get through the whole Dark Carnival campaign, which is just like a zombie apocalypse in a amusement park. And you have to carry a gnome from the start to the finish. You can't shoot with the gnome, so one person has to be carrying it at all times, and you have to bring it through all the way to the finals. And it takes about like, I don't know, it could be a longer stream if we keep failing, but it usually takes about like 5 or 6 hours. So, but who knows? If we keep failing, it could be 10 times longer. Yeah, the other team forfeited. Alex just hosting a practice. Well, I might still show up to the practice. I don't know, because I'm going to be out and about from soccer. It depends on how I feel after soccer. But if you and Marcus and the gang is going, I will definitely go to hockey then, Colin. But yeah, besides that, Afflet, I think I want to also play Phasmophobia has always been a fun one. There's another game called Demonology. And then there's a couple of like RPG Maker horror games, like old school ones, like The Witch's House, and what else? There was another one. Oh, Ib, I think it's called, that I've been looking at that I really want to play as well. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch, but I have like a list of games that I've been drafting, and I've been writing down your guys' suggestions, which, by the way, if you have any game suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments or whenever. He's lying, Catherine says. I'm not lying. Maybe down the road you can have my social security number. Have you seen Deadpool 3 yet? I have not, Chad. I've been so busy. I was out in Missouri, like literally we had no spare time for like any of that. I wish I could, and I want to, but at this point I don't know if I'm gonna get the opportunity to see it in theaters. I might just have to rent it on DVD or something. Be nice to catch you during the weekends. Been working full time, so the time zone is fucking things up. Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. I've definitely been trying to experiment with times. I need to start experimenting with like days. I think the best time for me to start streaming is like a little bit later. Like I think I get the best, from what I've seen, retention or audience past like 7-8 p.m., which is probably not a good idea for me to be streaming right now at 5:18 p.m. as people in my time zone are just getting off work. But maybe it helps out some EU people and they can catch a stream here and there. But Saturdays, I feel like weekends would be a lot better for like everyone else. So I might try out a couple weekend streams. Who knows? Definitely by the end of September, I want to do 1 or 2. And at the end of September, I plan on going to Baltimore to go see Dan. I don't know how many of you guys follow or subscribe to Dan Bell, but we've talked about doing some collabs and some live streaming together during the last week-ish of September. We don't have dates locked in yet, but that's around the time when we're thinking of going. I'm going to drive down and go see him, which I think would be fun. Are the questions supposed to be games related? No, you can ask me a question about anything. Ask me about my life. Ask me about all my whatever you have a question on, I will try and answer it for you. And for when I don't have questions, I'll just fill in the gaps with my life stories about Alone, about Uncharted Travel, my rambles, projects I've worked on, projects I've been working on, projects I can talk about, and projects maybe I can't talk about, but all that fun stuff. I love Left 4 Dead, but I haven't played it in almost 10 years. It's so much fun. I've been a Left 4 Dead fanatic ever since it came out on the 360. And then when it transferred over to PC, I've been like actively gaming it. I haven't played it in like a year or so now, but like it's super sweaty and competitive for all the choke points, the strategy, all that stuff. And people get really mad if you don't know what you're doing, because it can really hurt your team. But it's a lot of fun. It just takes a lot of learning and map knowledge in order to be able to play the online multiplayer. But that's like some of the most fun. Bib, is that a baby feeding horror game? No, it's called Ib. It's like some sort of 2D style game about this girl that gets lost in an art gallery, and it's like really trippy along with like horror and stuff. And sorry, I'm gonna have a sip of water, but for all you guys who are not hydrated today, make sure you stay hydrated. Oh, my rambling dries out my throat here, so that's why I always keep some water on deck. Clearly, we need a 24-hour stream, Jamie says. I am super down to do a 24-hour stream. I think I'm saving that for potentially like 1,000 subscriber celebration. Could be, I have some ideas of some challenges I want to do for a 24-hour live stream. One of them could be, I don't know if anyone watched the Kai Cenat and I Show Speed stream where they were playing hardcore and trying to beat Minecraft. I feel like it's too soon to do that, but I definitely want to do something like that down the road. I think it would be fun to do a 24-hour live stream where I try to beat all of the Legend of Zelda games back to back to back to back. Something like that. Could be a very fun stream. I have a couple different ideas. I won't spoil everything, but those are some various ideas I have for some live streaming, stuff like that, for some 24-hour streams. But please get Mo back for another cooking session. We definitely, he hasn't left back to Europe yet, so I'll definitely get him back on the show. I know he wants to do a cooking session like I did with Tyler when we did the AI cooking, but he wants to do desserts specifically, so we'll make some like monstrosity cakes or like danishes or some horrible stuff like that. But any useful school-related advice? I don't know if this would count as advice, but when I was going through school, my motto was, I'm just gonna have fun, so make sure you have fun with it. And if you are above the academic probation line, you're working too hard. If you're below the academic probation line, you're not working hard enough. So you want to ride that academic probation line. And for those of you who don't know or don't have an academic probation line, it's like for our university, you had to maintain a 60 average or else they'd kick you out. And if you dropped below a 60 average for a semester, you'd be on academic probation. And you had 1 semester to bring it back up, or else they would evict you from the school. So I was always like, it was like a sine curve. I even though I knew what I was doing, I just wanted to like enjoy school life more than enjoy the classes, which I kind of regret, kind of don't, because I have a lot of fun memories, but I was always riding that academic probation line. It's a scary but fun adventure for me, but I made it through. I graduated. But yeah, I guess if you're in university, try and join a club, join some a sports group, network with people, and just like kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like. I think my biggest takeaway or my biggest regret from university was, even though I did network, I didn't find out exactly what I wanted to do or what I liked. So I feel like by not networking early enough, it kind of closed off some avenues. Like if I wanted to get into banking or get into consulting or something like that, I feel like I'd kind of be behind the 8 ball if I started now. Not that I want to do that, but advice for you would be join some clubs, find out what you like. It's my school advice for you, Smiley. Podcast, eh? I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'll definitely be back on the Dan Bell podcast. He told me also I can just call in whenever they're filming. So I'm just gonna have another sip of water. That mobster talk was hilarious. I take it you tuned in, Nathan, to the Dan Bell podcast. Yeah, that's like Dan and I driving around in the car whenever we're just like shooting and filming. We just throw on some like old mobster music and we just start like pretending like we're old Italian like hitman and stuff, just talking shit, but it's funny. Brennan answers questions but in the mobster accent. Oh, I'll answer all your questions here. What do you got for me here? What we got Colin. He says, do you have any tattoos on the bottom of your feet? If not, prove. Oh, you're trying to have a look at my... Okay, sorry, I'll stop that. That's pretty annoying. But no, I don't have any tattoos on the bottom of my feet. I actually don't have any tattoos in general. Not that I'm against tattoos. I feel like if I had... Sorry, you can see these fruit flies that are like infested my room from when I was away. I've been trying desperately to get rid of them. But I feel like if I... Hey, Mars. Oh, she says hello. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the comments. I'm still a little bit behind on comments, but welcome to the family. Love to have you. Glad you're here. And I always enjoy talking to you. You're a very good person, a good friend. I love you. Not kidding. Sorry. Getting a little bit sidetracked from the question, but I don't have any tattoos. I'm not against tattoos. I feel like if I had a reason or like a deep meaning to get a tattoo on myself, I probably would. And I feel like that's if I got like a first one, that would be kind of what I wanted. I know some people just get tattoos for fun, and that's perfectly fine. I'm scared because I have heard it's a very addictive hobby. It's a very expensive hobby, and when you start getting one tattoo, you're always thinking about your next one, and it just keeps building up. So as of right now, I don't have any tattoos. Specifically, don't have any tattoos on the bottom of my feet. I won't prove it to you. You're gonna have to take my word on that. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles on that one. Sometimes Steam sell both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 during the sales. Yeah, I think I got it when it was like very cheap. I think I got both of them for $7. Yeah, I know they've sold them for a lot cheaper now. But yeah, I have 1 and 2. I have the full campaigns, and I have the expansion and like some fan-made content and stuff. Half-Blood says cook meth with Mo. We'll definitely look into doing that. Maybe we can do like a Breaking Bad style where Mo and I just travel around the country cooking up drugs and stuff. Sardine Cake's looking forward to it. That's gonna be a horrible experience, or Edwin. Sorry, I know I'm so far behind on comments. I just let it go up and up and up. Chad says, what's Bevo? Bevo is simply just my name condensed. Well, my full name is Brennan Evangelista, but in high school, there was a very influential business business teacher in grade 9. His name was Mr. DiFrancesco. Very nice guy. But one day he was like, it was like first week of something or school or something, and he was spelling out the class names on the board, and he messed up my name because it's like Evangelista is obviously like 11 letters. It's pretty long, tedious to spell. And some of the people in the class were just like laughing. And so he completely erased my name off the board and just wrote Evo, like EVO. And he's like, that's your name now. You're Evo. That's it. You're not a Brennan Evangelista. That's enough of this. It's Evo. So then that kind of like stuck. And because he was like an influential teacher, like everyone, even the teachers at that high school would call me Evo. So then it just became from Brennan Evangelista to Brennan Evo. And then taking the B off of Brennan and sticking it onto Evo became Bevo. And that's kind of how I got the name for the channel. But yeah, sorry, Break says 24-hour gaming live stream from one of the alone locations surrounded by coyotes. That is a very interesting suggestion, Bregs. I would definitely have to do some headhunting to find a lone location that's remote enough, but also has some sort of cell service to stream and to connect to some sort of online game. But that would definitely be interesting. I feel like I definitely did want to do an alone live stream on the Internet Travel channel. I feel like that would be a big successful hit. And I was in talks with the developer of the Hamilton City Center Mall in, well, obviously in Hamilton. It's like right by my house, and that would have had perfect cell service, and I would have had access to the building, so I wouldn't have to worry about security. The biggest issue with doing it alone and having what's it called? Filming it alone and doing a live stream is that people can, like, obviously I'm trespassing, so people can actively like call the police on me if they realize where I am. But I was trying to talk to this developer because he gave me initial access to film the place, but then he's like, yeah, I'm not operating there anymore. I can't give you that access. We're like closing it down for everyone. So otherwise I would have done a live stream in an abandoned mall, which would have been really cool. Because a lot of people have been begging me to do live streams for alone, just to show off what it's like actually just like chilling in an abandoned building. And I'm sure half of them too are doubters that I'm like even alone or that it's legit, but everyone has their own opinion, and you have the right to your own opinion. But yeah, Jamie says, I've got to check that out. If I do upload it, you'll be the first to know here. You have a favorite place where you just relax in your free time? Honestly, I like just like sitting out in my living room on my couch, or if it's nighttime, sometimes I like to go out and sit in the backyard or go for like a nighttime walk around my neighborhood. It's always like something that it's like a nighttime ritual. It's kind of like relaxing for me, meditative. But I think I feel most at peace, honestly, just like chilling in my own space. Here, Darkside comes out on Dan's podcast. I think that Dan just brings the worst out in everyone, and that just really shows through on the podcast when it's like an unfiltered version. But no, to be fair, I love Dan. We just always like, I feel really comfortable and really relaxed around him, and just like his character in general, just like really, we kind of bounce off each other well, and we bring out the crazy in each other. Did you ever go to Clifton Hill at all? Actually, Anthony, all the time. We used to, with my cousin, at least once a year, we'd go to Niagara Falls. For those of you who don't know, Clifton Hill is just like the main attraction center in Niagara Falls. It's like this one street where it has like arcades, haunted houses, movie theaters, wax museums, Ripley's Believe It or Not, just all this like fun little attractions for family, friends, kids, all that fun stuff. But we always used to go to, they have a thing called the Midway Arcade. I used to love trying to save up for the Xbox there. Never got it though, but I'd always get their like little model cars that you could get, and I would always get those, or some army men, or some candy if I was feeling hungry. But yeah. What happened to your left arm? Oh, this right here, this was just some rink rash from ball hockey. I was going down on a shootout and going a little too fast, came in a little too hot, and I made the move on the goalie. I hit the post, went outside post, unfortunately didn't get the goal. But the surface we play when we play outdoor ball hockey is basically, think of like milk crates. So anytime you fall, you're essentially falling on like cheese graters. So it's not the most comfortable surface. I have scars all over my knees. And yeah, this is just like, it used to be like all the way up my arm, but thankfully it's healing pretty well. And now it's just this small quarter-sized scab that you see. So yeah, if you see that, it's just rink rash, nothing to be scared of. It's just a little bit of cuts and skinning, like light scalping from my or light flaying from my hockey rink. Can be addictive. I have 6. Sorry, I'm so delayed in the comments. Your hair reminds me of Shaggy so much in the nicest way possible. Well, thank you. Like, it's kind of just like flowing as is right now, but I definitely need to get it cut soon. I always get it cut when it starts drooping in front of my eyes. But yeah, this is like on the longer length, but I've always had long hair ever since I quit the Army Cadets. After that, I never really had, before that I had like very short hair. I had a fade on the side, and like I had it like almost like a pompadour at the top, if you can believe that. But it's very hard to do much styling with my hair because of my widow's peak, which is just like, I don't really know how to style it other than just like kind of like combing it over like that and just letting it flow. But that's been my hairstyle for years. You and Mo cook up meth they use in Breaking Bad, which apparently was just candy. Yeah, apparently they also like all the what's it called, the formulas too, they purposefully got wrong so that people couldn't replicate it, which makes sense. Mars says thank you, love you too. Sorry, that just shows how delayed I am on the on the comments, but love you. Would you procreate with Professor X's sister? I can't say I've seen her, but you know, I'd have to see her and have a nice sit down, have a conversation with her, and see if she's you know, a good person or if she's crazy. You know, you always got to feel them out first. You don't just dive straight in. Skrilla Scro, what up? Finally caught alive. Welcome to the live, Skrilla Scro. I think this is my first time seeing you comment too, so happy to have you here. I'm sorry this is just like a very short and very like face-to-face Q&A stream. I don't really have much else going on in terms of gaming or whatever right now, but I'm hoping this is entertaining in its own right. You know, you get to learn a bit more about me. I get to talk a bit more directly to you guys, and if you guys do like this sort of stuff, maybe we can incorporate it into a weekly stream on top of the Tuesdays and Thursdays, because this is like, it's relatively easy. I just had so much going on that I wasn't able to really like plan an in-depth stream for you guys this week, but we will be getting back to more fun stuff next week. You still in Canada? I actually just got back to Canada. I was in Missouri for the past 8 days. Just got back Wednesday night, so I had cleaned up all my stuff and got ready Wednesday, and then today I've just been like prepping other stuff because I have a wedding to go to this weekend. That's a whole nother thing, so I've essentially just been on the move since I hit the ground. Glad to see you. Being a fan since ADR, keep on keeping on, says Michelle G. Well, thank you, Michelle G. I'm glad you've stuck with me for that for so long, and I'm sorry that you've stuck with me for so long. I feel like ADR is like, I don't know, I always feel so embarrassed when people pull it up. Don't get me wrong, I love filming it. I love filming the show. I just think it's just, looking back, it was such a crazy environment, a crazy time, so much fun. But I just think, like, I don't know, it must be crazy to watch those videos and follow along and think how we get ourselves in those situations. Being someone who like lived through that situation, it's just a very surreal experience for me, at least. Did you like doing the podcast, or do you prefer video format? Honestly, it depends on the mood. Like, I like making videos, but I very much enjoy with the podcast. You know, it's with videos I'm hosting and I'm planning, I'm producing, I'm editing. There's a lot more stages to it. With the podcast, I'm just a guest on Dan's podcast. I'm just sitting back. enjoying myself, relaxing, and just chatting with Dan as I would just a regular Tuesday night or whatever day we did it on. So I do enjoy doing the podcast because they're really easy, but I feel like, I don't know, as a creative, I always want to be like creating stuff too. Like I feel like a podcast is a good like supplementary to everything. It's fun. It's something easy that you can do, just kind of like this Q&A. It's unplanned. You're just kind of talking. But it's always nice to do a video too. Sorry, these fruit flies. Like I said, I've had an infestation. If anyone knows any good fruit fly remedies besides the classic apple cider vinegar and dish soap, I'm all ears because I'm actively trying to get rid of these as fast as possible. Glad to see you back. Thank you, Jack. I'm glad to be back. It's honestly, I felt really bad missing the past couple live streams, but was working on a project with Jake. I can't talk too much about it now, but what I can say is it's going to be another feature film like his Closed for Storm documentary. But it's from what we've filmed, it's going to be a very good film. But we are still in the midst of filming it. That's why I can't talk about it too much yet, because it's probably about a still 2-year timeline away from being released. It's probably filming until April, and then it'll go into the post-production phase, which usually takes around anywhere from like 12 to 18 months if I had to guess. So yeah. Smiley says, are you a cat person or a dog person? I enjoy both, but I don't think personally I could own a dog, specifically because of the barking. I don't know, the barking kind of drives me up the wall, but I love cats. I'm a huge cat guy. My upstairs tenants have a cat. I grew up with a cat. When I was my other buddies that lived in here before they had a kitten, I love hanging out with cats, petting cats. Love just like stealing them from their environment and bringing them to me, capturing them, you know. sounds not great, but you know, I'm sure cat owners can empathize with me. Just grab them from their cozy little space. But no, I like dogs, but I'm definitely team cat. I'm a big cat guy. And sorry, oh man, okay. So I missed a couple questions. Dark side, intrigued again. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jamie. I'm sorry if I mentioned that a while ago, but do I have any bad habits? I guess I bite my nails. That's a bad habit. I enjoy a bit more than the average beer, I guess you should say. I guess according to the studies or whatever, I'm above average because like I have I'd say like I wind down with a beer a night kind of thing, and then on the weekends I'll have a couple more, which I don't think is a huge issue as long as you're not like getting drunk every single night. It's just one beer to like kind of wind down. Don't see anything wrong with that. Other bad habits, I use the air fryer way too much. I'm actually good at not sleeping in. That was a bad habit that carried over from university that I've corrected. I'm a master procrastinator at times. It's like a 50-50. Roll the dice if I'm gonna save it all to the last minute or if I'm gonna do it in a reasonable timeline. But yeah, those are some of my bad habits. If you have any more specific ones that you want to ask about, feel free. But yeah, sorry, I skipped over that. I read Skrillus Grows You still in Canada? Yes, I am, and I'm heading to Baltimore. I'm hopefully at the end of September to go see Dan. Sorry, I just missed a couple of those questions. Okay. Favorite personality traits you'd look for in a friend? I honestly, I feel like I enjoy getting along with like a very diverse range of people. So there's not like any specific like person that I enjoy. I feel like if you are like if you're interested in things, like if you're not just like a couch potato sitting around with doing nothing, if you have like a passion and you enjoy talking about things, I enjoy talking about things that people enjoy talking about. For example, like if you're really into cars, I like listening to hear you talk about your passion, and then like I can interject a little bit here and there and we have a good conversation. But I'd say like overall traits, the big one for me is like loyalty. Like I like knowing that I have my friends back and they have my back. Like if I'm pulled over on the side of the road at like 2 a.m. and my car is broken down, I know if I can call you and you're gonna come and help pick me up, then I feel like that's like something, like just knowing somebody has your back is a very good feeling. Because I know, and I have, if a friend calls me in the middle of the night, like, hey man, I need you to bail me out of the situation, or I need you to pick me up or like help me out, I've always answered the call, or at least if I can answer the call, I've answered the call, you know. I feel like that's very important to have in a friend. That street sounds awesome. Oh yeah, the Clifton Hill. Yeah, it's a fantastic place to be. If you've ever traveled around the Niagara area, would highly recommend it. What's the time in Canada right now? I'm on the East Coast, so it's currently 5:40 p.m. I think it's the EDT, or Eastern Standard Time. And that is the current time zone. We share the same time zone as like New York City, I believe. It just goes straight down. Who's getting married? It is my lifelong family friend, Daniel. He is marrying his, fiance. And yeah, we basically, my dad had like 3 high school friends growing up, and they like always like got together, played euchre, and like were best friends all throughout their whole entire lives. And so when they all had kids, they would all like book cottage weekends and stuff. And by natural association, we all became best friends too. So there's, you can see one of my mods, Marcus, he's like one of the 4 dads' children. Then there's my other friend, Elliot. And then the youngest of us, our friend, Dan, he's getting married this weekend. And he's getting married up in Deerhurst, which is kind of like cottage country in Canada. It's a very nice area, and I'm excited and happy for them, happy for him. But yeah, that's essentially the answer for that. Megatron, gun, tank, or jet? Are you talking about like if I'd rather have Megatron, a gun, a tank, or a jet? I would rather have Megatron because I feel like he's all of those things combined. But if I could only have a gun, tank, or a jet, I would definitely pick jet because you could use it for transportation or fighting if you needed to. We had a rotten potato, so feel your pain when the flies. I know these fruit flies have invaded everywhere. Catherine says, cat guy, green flag. Yeah, I love cats, honestly. We've been slowly trying to introduce my the upstairs tenant's cat to my like the downstairs space, and she's like very curious and shy, but she doesn't like hang out down here for too long. She gets scared easily. She's a scurrier. But back in the day, my buddy's younger brother and his now ex-girlfriend used to live down here, and they had like a little baby kitten, and she just had free roam of the house. And she would, every morning, she'd wait outside my bedroom door, and she'd come and like be sitting there looking up at me, and I'd like reach down to pet her, and she'd like clap my hand with both of her hands and like dig her claws in and like make me freak out. And then I'd go to the bathroom, and she'd jump on top of the sink, jump on top of my shoulder, and I used to call her Monkey because she was like a little monkey crawling around my shoulder and my arms, and she'd like sit on my shoulder while I like brushed my teeth, while I got my like morning routine ready and like cooked breakfast or whatever, and she would stay there until I sat down in my computer chair, and she'd jump on my desk, and then I'd have to like put her outside, or else she'd play with the mouse and keyboard while I was trying to work. But no, very cute. Very Aquarian to prefer cats. I am an Aquarius. My birthday is February 7th, 1997. I'm 27 years young. Heading off to bed. I gotta go. See you tonight. You look wonderful. Have a nice evening with the chat. Thank you, Erwin. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your day, and I'm sure it's late where you are, but to come see me, and I enjoy chatting with you, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Love that, Team Cats. Yes, Mars. I'm a big Team Cat guy. Any childhood memories that make you laugh sometimes? Smile says. Honestly, several. Like growing up on a court full of kids, it was like so much fun. We'd always go to the park, play grounders. We would play baseball on the court, ball hockey on the court. But some of my fondest memories, honestly, I think, and this is like early film school me or filmer me, we used to make videos with kids on the court. Oh my God, these fruit flies. Videos with kids on the court all the time. We used to like heavily inspired by like Jackass. We'd do like random stunts, and we'd also film like army movies and stuff like that. I'd film on my parents' old mirrorless cameras. We'd just go around and like film scenes, draft up little things. I don't know if we ever finished any of our projects, but I have to look at those old cameras because one of my stream ideas that I wanted to do is get the old footage, put it on my computer, and then like do a live stream of me cutting that into an actual video, or cutting my like childhood videos into like little mini shorts or something like that. I feel like would be fun and interesting for you guys to see. But one fond memory of my childhood was when we were filming our Jackass movie, we rolled my one friend up into like a garbage can and like stuffed the lid, and we rolled him down at the end of the court. There was like a hill that led down to a cat path, and we didn't realize, but the city had just put in like 3 giant metal prongs at the bottom. So we capped him in, rolled him down, and he was picking up speed. And then we were all just like desperately chasing after him because we realized there was 3 metal prongs, but we didn't make it in time, but he was okay. But yeah, I guess childhood memories, just the rough and tumble days of running around the court. We used to make, we used to get chalk, and we used to draw like little highways on the court, and we'd have like people like with their bikes biking around the highways, or like their go-karts or whatever. And then we had like police officers on scooters, or police officers that would come and pull people over. We basically like playing like GTA public lobbies before that was even a thing, just on the court. Allison, hello, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I'm just catching up on all the comments now. Gerblar says, don't know if this has been asked since I just joined, but do you talk to Rick? I haven't been in communication with Rick in a while. Him and Dan, they had a falling out, and I sort of like stepped back from everything. I haven't publicly taken a side on the stance, but I definitely, there are some things that it's not really my place to discuss the whole situation. If you're interested about it, you can potentially message me privately afterwards, and if I feel like talking about it, then I'll enlighten a little bit more. But I have not talked to Rick in a couple years, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not really my place to go into that whole drama too much, but I've just kind of like abstained from the whole thing. But I do talk to Dan now, and that's all I can really say, I guess. I do still talk to Dan, but that's all I can really say for now, because I don't really want to like breathe the whole drama back into life, or like, it's not really my place to give my personal opinion on it. But that's just where I'm at with things right now. Allison says, I like that too. That's real. That's so sweet. I'm sorry, it's so delayed for me, so I'm trying to realize what you guys were are reacting to, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. What made you get into urban exploring stuff, or have you always just been trespassing? To be fair, it's oh, sorry, I hit my mic, so I hope that didn't blast everyone's eardrums out. But to be fair, I've always had a curiosity for abandoned places. And funny enough, there was a group of people, like, for one thing, if you're not involved in the Urbex community, you're probably better off. But no, the Urbex community, especially in Ontario, is very, very toxic, and it's a very elitist and gatekeepy situation, which is not too great. But I remember there was a couple people that I was kind of like loosely friends with, that I saw just taking Instagram photos in a couple abandoned places. And I thought it was cool. They also did like rooftoping and stuff back in the day. And so like I reached out to a couple of them and was like, hey, like, where is this? Do you think you could take me along? Like, this looks really cool. I think I'd be interested in something like this. And their response basically was just like from that of like an elitist standpoint, where they were like, oh, you can't do it. You wouldn't be good at it, or like, you wouldn't like it, or you're not able enough to do this. It was just like a very condescending response that I got back from them, basically saying like, you wouldn't like it, or you're not one of us, like, just like nonsense. So then I just sort of like that lit the fire under my ass, where I was like, okay, I really want to get into this hobby. So I just put forth so much effort trying to find abandoned places, research abandoned places, trade for abandoned places, and dig myself into the community. And like within like a year, I had like a decent catalog of abandoned spots. And funny enough, one of the people that kind of like shunned me or like shied me away reached out to me afterwards, and they said, hey man, like, really cool photos, like, is this, or can you tell me where this spot is? And I got my petty revenge at the time, because I was like just like a young like 17-year-old kid. I was like, oh man, I don't really think Urbex is for you, or something like that. I just like basically hit them with the same logic that they hit me with. So got that sort of, I guess, like satisfying revenge. But it is what it is. That's kind of how I got my start. And then like after that initial wave of me being involved in it, I really enjoyed finding different cool places, and I'd see stuff online, and it's like, you know, once you get a taste, there's always something more, always something bigger. Like you can never really fill that ambition. And that paired with games like Last of Us and just like other like Uncharted and like those exploring games have really piqued my interest on like the abandoned side of structures or like forgotten treasures and stuff like that, like really cool stuff like that. It's kind of how I got my start in Urbex, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I met a lot of really cool friends and stuff. Nathan says, what would you say is the most sketchy or creepiest place you've filmed on your own or with friends? I would say, okay, the sketchiest places we've ever filmed are definitely Baltimore. It's nice to have Dan around because, I mean, he knows the layout, he knows what to look for, he knows when you should enter a building, when you shouldn't enter a building. He has like a lot of just knowledge of that area, which is otherwise a very dangerous area, and that's why like not a lot of people do Urbex in Baltimore. You kind of gotta have a lot of street smarts, which Dan definitely does have. So I'd say in terms of sketchy areas, there's a place called Upstein's. It's like an old mall. We got chased out of there with a crowbar by some guy. He was like, because I guess he was hiding his like stash in there or something when Dan and I were trying to get in. And they like followed him, and like 3 dudes with like crowbars and stuff followed us down this like alley, and they kept saying like, wrong way, wrong neighborhood, wrong area, you shouldn't be here, we're gonna teach you a lesson, like just like all this intimidating like factor stuff, which I thought was pretty crazy. I mean, like I was able to keep a level head, but when you're carrying like a couple $1,000s of camera gear on you, you really don't want to get mugged or robbed. So that was definitely a sketchy place, and they followed us all the way back until Dan got his driver's side door open. They like bolted, and I was like, Dan, why? Like they had it was 3-on-2, and they had weapons. Like why would they bolt as soon as we got to our car? I thought for sure we were gonna have to like stand off with these guys. And Dan just looks at me and he says, "Oh, they'll never chase you into your car. Everybody has a gun in their glove box." And I was like, what the fuck? Me being like a Canadian boy where like guns are very few and far between, it was definitely surreal experiencing that. But Jamie says, I did a lot of passing as a youth. Yeah, I've slowed down on the Urbex a little bit over the years, but I'm still actively involved. I'd say instead of going out like twice a week or like a couple times a week, I go out maybe like once a week or every other week urban exploring, but it is a lot of fun. When you're dealing with I think I keep jumping down to the very bottom here. Okay. When you're dealing with a really stressful situation, how do you deal with it? Smiley says. Sorry, I keep calling you Smiley. That's because I don't really know what to pronounce your name. But to answer your question, when I'm dealing with a stressful situation, I try to honestly think of something else. Like when I'm shooting it alone, you have to have like sort of like a really strong mental subconscious the entire time, because like it's so easy for people to spiral or to go like downhill really fast and to start like, because like if you start thinking about like bad things or creepy things and get yourself in that sort of mindset, you're just gonna think about like creepy stuff, and you're just gonna psych yourself out, and it's just gonna make for one hell of a horrible night. When you're doing alone, or when you're exploring an abandoned place alone, or when you're in a scary situation, you just kind of have to accept the fact that this is your situation. You have to deal with it, and you just kind of block. I think I do a good job of blocking negative thoughts out of my mind. Like if I'm walking through like abandoned service tunnels in the dark, and I'm like filming this like service tunnel-y area, and it's like very sketchy and bad, and makes all these ambient noises, instead of thinking like, oh, what was that? Oh, where was that noise coming from? Is that a person? Like we need to get out of here. I've just kind of like shut all that out, and I just focus on like putting one foot in front of the other, looking at the building, looking at other things, just kind of like distracting yourself. You have to sort of be able to replace those negative thoughts with like an entirely different thought. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I wonder what I'm gonna eat tonight, or oh, won't it be nice when I get to lay down in my sleeping bag for the night, or something like that. It's just like doing that over and over again, that mental sort of drill really helps dealing with stressful situations, and it transfers over to any aspect of life. Like if you're nervous for like a hockey game, or if you're nervous for an exam, you just got to kind of distract yourself, and then you eventually will get through that stress, and it makes it a lot easier to deal with. At least that's my advice for dealing with it. You should look into the Ship Cats in Baltimore. Is that like a gang? I'm not too familiar with the Ship Cats, but they sound interesting. You've piqued my interest. What music do I listen to? Smiley says. I listen to, honestly, everything. It depends on the vibe. I'm a very firm believer of there's a vibe for any kind of music. Most actively though, I listen to a lot of alt rock or alternative music. Some specific bands that I really enjoy are the Arkells, which are actually local to here in Hamilton, and they've blown up over the past couple years. I've actually gone to see them twice. I really like the Wonder Years. I really like Trophy Eyes. If you never heard of Trophy Eyes and you like alternative or alt rock music, would highly recommend checking out their stuff. They're very good. Big Paramore fan. Always as a kid had crush on Hayley Williams growing up. Her in her punk rock, like teenage angst phase, I think was like the best, when she was making songs for Twilight, and you know the band was going strong. But yeah, sorry, let me take another sip of water. But I do also go to raves. I listen to EDM, but for me, there's very few artists that I like listen to religiously. I just kind of listen to like very different kinds of music, whatever the vibe is. Even country. I'm not a big country fan, but if it's the right vibe, I will enjoy a country song. Don't hate me, but my answer to that would be a bit of everything. Catherine says, as much as I wouldn't mind you kidnapping my cat, mine is a bit of a hider. She might be camping out in your crawl space for a month. Aw. Well, I'm sorry. I think your cat's name is Sylvie. She's, I've definitely seen some photos on Discord. She definitely seems like a very nice cat. I will kidnap all the cats. I'll be the crazy cat man. You should look at the questions soon. Oh yeah, I think if I end the Q&A, then I can see the questions. I've been trying to catch up on comments here. Bob, I'm gone now. Sacred FN says, well, I hope you enjoyed your stream. Countries you want to visit? I really want to go to Japan. Sorry, I'll speed through these and let me actually hit end Q&A and see. This will remove the questions in the question list. How do I see the question list? Where do I see? Their way. Sorry. Just bear with me for a second here. How do I see the questions in my question list? Okay, maybe I have to redock this. I go full screen. Oh wait. Oh, I can go to questions here. Okay. So here, sorry. I think I found it out. We'll continue reading. I see Smiley's emojis here. We'll break at that for now, and then we'll go to the questions. The Urbex community in Baltimore isn't much better. Same gatekeeping issues. Yeah, you just have to kind of, I guess, deal with those kinds of people. But my advice, if you're trying to start out in Urbex, is find a good core group of people, find some good spots, do some research. Like I started out when I was building pools, because I in order to pay for my college tuition, every summer I sold my summer building pools, like 24/7. I was out there. And I'm sure I've shared some of my pool stories and nightmares on chat. And if you want to inquire more about them, I'd be happy to talk to you guys about them. But basically, like whenever I was driving around and I saw a place that looked abandoned, I'd make a note of it in maps. And then I would come back to it later when I wasn't working and check it out. And then after doing that, combing through Google Maps, trading with other people, I built up a decent archive of spots, and then I used that archive to trade with people. And then once you're like established in the community and you got people you trust and people that trust you, you can sometimes just even ask them like, hey, can you share me the pin for this? And then they'll give it to you because they know you're not going to vandalize, you're not going to break anything. And same for them. If they ask you, hey, where can I find this spot? You give them the pin and you just kind of have that sort of mutual relationship. And as you expand and go bigger and get deeper into the community, you'll find those good people and bad people and all that fun stuff. But here, I think I've got some questions here from Jamie, Catherine, Nathan, and Johnny. Johnny, I didn't see you in the chat, but I'm glad you're here. Jamie says, what is your favorite movie? Okay, so I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. My favorite movie of the Lord of the Rings movies would be Lord of the Rings Return of the King. I think it's just a cinematic masterpiece. But my favorite movie of all time is called Princess Bride. And I remember my dad, the first time I watched it, I was sick home from school. My dad had it on VHS and I had watched Lord of the Rings like 100 times. My dad's like, oh, here's a movie that I liked when I was like young. Let me put it on for you and see if you vibe with it, kind of thing. And then I watched it. I think I was like 9 or 10 and I just fell in love and watched it like 7 times in a row. But no, Princess Bride is definitely a classic for me. I can never tell you the actors' names other than Andre the Giant, but I really loved like watching Antonio Montoya and like just like all the characters, the plot, everything like that. Catherine, what are the best parts of your Missouri trip and what were the low points? The best parts, I say it was really cool. The subject matter we were filming was very interesting, and there was a lot of interesting characters. It almost shifted because we were working on a documentary. Like mid filming, it almost shifted the perspective of what the doc was because of how interesting the characters were. But we were filming in basically a mall in its final days, and we had complete access to like the everywhere in the mall. So we had like the roof access, we had like the back rooms access, we had like every store everywhere, and like we were just like on good terms with security, on good terms with like the liquidators, the developers. Like it was just like I'd never been so welcome in an abandoned or soon to be abandoned space in my life. The low points were probably we worked really long hours, we worked very hard, and we usually would work like straight sun up to sundown, like 12 to 14 hour days. But I think the fruits of our labor will be honestly something that you guys will really enjoy watching. Unfortunately, like I said, it'll probably be out in like 2 years or so, so I can't really talk more about it right now, but that's the gist of what I can talk about. What time was I born, Jamie says? I actually have no idea. I know that matters in a sense of like your rising moon or rising sun and your astrology signs and stuff, but I have never learned my birth time. I just know I'm born February 7th, 1997. Any more creepy overnight camping vids on the way? I realize that's over on your other channel. My apologies. That's okay, Nathan. You can ask me questions about uncharted travel. I'm here to talk about whatever you guys want to ask questions about. But in terms of alone, I definitely do have, what's it called? I have plans to film more alone. I've attempted 2 separate locations, failed at both of them. I was unable to stay the night due to security issues, due to just the first one, it was just completely sealed, so that sucked because I drove like 4 hours of the way, couldn't find a way in. The other one I had to actually just bail out because before it even got nighttime, there was security presence and I didn't want to spend the rest of my night dodging security. So unfortunately, those 2 failed, but I have eyes on a couple decent locations that are pretty remote that I'm looking at potentially visiting in the future. My goal is to get out another alone video before October 31st. Like I want to get one out for Halloween, but I'm not like with all the stuff I have going on right now, I'm not sure. I can't make any promises. That's my goal. So yes, Nathan, I'm hoping to get some more alones. When did you start listening to the Arkells? Funny enough, it was in high school. Our friend's older brother was like really good friends and went to university with the like the lead singer and kind of like some of the other band members. And for those of you who don't know, Arkells, they're like a local indie band. They're named the Arkells because they got their start in Hamilton on Arkell Street. They all just lived together and they made a band and they made it big. But the lead singer was like really good friends with my buddy's older brother, so they would be like sometimes over at his house just playing like random music, and like before their songs were even like songs or even on Spotify, they'd be like playing them in their basement. And I would just come over, have a couple of drinks, and we would just listen to them. And I'd be like, "Hey, do you have a band?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're the Arkells." And then they just kind of, ever since then, they what's it called? I was like listening to them, and like all my friends would like listen to them. But yeah, so yeah, that was a cool little lore about the Arkells. But if you haven't checked them out, they're on Spotify. They're pretty. I think they're touring all over now. I've been to 2 of their concerts. They're pretty big, but they're yeah, very cool, like indie alt rock band. Favorite mythical creature? We're talking cryptids. I don't know. I think the Mothman's pretty cool. He's pretty sweet. He's also, if you look at his statue, he's cheeked up. Went to go visit. We did the Mothman Festival back in 2019, where Dan, Rick, and I, we had a booth. We talked at some sort of like theater thing, where Dan was like premiering his Mothman video. And then we also had we invited everyone out into the TNT caves and like had like a party with like some beer afterwards, which is a really surreal experience. But the Mothman Festival down in Point Pleasant, very great experience. And for that, the Mothman is my favorite mythical creature / cryptid. And my favorite D&D character class, I have only ever played as like a rogue. I usually play as like an archer, like DPS or like rogue style in any like Diablo, RuneScape sort of like game. So I like the stealth archer sort of like vibes. Do I like to read and what? I like to, I read from here and there. Like I've definitely transitioned a lot more to like video format stuff, but I'm currently reading through the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the second time. I'm starting on the Two Towers. I finished The Hobbit and the Fellowship, and I'm about like 20 pages into the Two Towers, but I'm working my way back through it. I read it back in high school, and I just recently got back into rereading it because there's a lot of good stuff there. Johnny says, Shamalaba Doobadad, happy to have you back. Sorry for being late. Never apologize for being late, my friend. I'm happy to be back. I'm sorry that I've been MIA the past week and a bit, but that's just because I've been working on some crazy projects that I unfortunately can't talk too much about, but I've talked a little bit about them. But yeah, no, I'm hoping after this week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming and streaming and all that fun stuff. But I just wanted to get my face in front of you guys and talk to you guys because I missed you guys, you know, and I hope you missed me too. It was a nice part of my regular routine, and I was itching for a nice little stream, so I figured, you know what, might as well see how we do with a Q&A stream and see if people enjoy this kind of thing. And if you do, maybe we'll do like a just chatting, maybe once a week. We'll incorporate like a Tuesday or Thursday, and maybe like, I don't know, a Friday or Saturday just chatting, talking head sort of style stream. Powerade or Gatorade? Honestly, I used to be Gatorade growing up as a kid. Like always after hockey, after everything, it was religiously Gatorade. Powerade just has better flavors now. They have better flavors, and it's cheaper. Gatorade has gone way off the deep end with their price increases. I find, at least in Canada, they're what's it called, in grocery stores and stuff, they're like $3 more, or like $2 to $3 more a bottle than Powerade. It's like insane. So for that, Powerade is number one in my heart. I also like their bottle design is like, I find a lot more ergonomically better. But yeah, I'd say a Powerade stan right now. I flipped the switch from Gatorade to Powerade. Favorite character to play in Left 4 Dead and favorite zombie class. My favorite zombie class, hands down, the Smoker. I think there's just a lot of Smoker or Charger, but definitely probably a Smoker a little bit more. I just think there's so much versatility with the Smoker in general, and just being able to like pull someone into like certain areas or drag someone off into a reclusive area. For those of you who don't know, in Left 4 Dead, Smoker's the guy that shoots his tongue out at the survivors, and if you connect, he's basically like the sniper of the zombies. If you connect, you drag the survivor back to where you are, so you can make like pretty cool long shots or trick shots, or like even if like the survivors are up on a bridge, you can shoot and like drag them off, or like dangle them onto like hard areas. There's a lot of like playability with the Smoker, and a lot of ability to make cool plays. But yeah, that's all the questions in our Q&A right now. So I'll hop back over to the chat real quick, and I'll talk about some of the chatting here. Okay, I see our bookmark here. Metalhead Bro, hello. Sorry, I think this is the first time I've seen you type in chat, but welcome. And he says, do you draw? I actually used to doodle all the time as a kid. I wouldn't say necessarily like doodles, but like I have like notes for like various things that I keep in my, this is like my journal of sorts for, it was for RuneScape / editing / I was programming, like I would program, and I still do kind of program Minecraft mods for sometimes for fun, sometimes for coin. I actually have a server where I've been I basically made like RuneScape and Minecraft, but like my own version of it, kind of like Destiny and RuneScape combined. But that's always been my own like personal project. Maybe one day I'll show you guys off the server and tell you guys the IP if you want to play it, but I haven't touched it in like a couple years. But I still pay for it. It's still online. But it's on 1.16, and there's like bosses, dungeons, classes, all the craziness, skills. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, sorry, got a little bit off topic, but I do draw on occasion. Used to doodle all the time as a kid. I used to draw like little wars and stuff, little army men, all that fun stuff. Not so much anymore, but I do enjoy drawing here and there. Unbridled Carnage says, late to the stream, so might be awkward. Any plans to continue the Alone series? Yeah, I answered the question a little bit above. My goal is to get an alone video out for Halloween of this year. So potentially in like 2 months, have another alone out. Don't quote me on that because, like I said, I tried filming alone 2 different alone videos on 2 separate occasions, and even tried getting access to the mall to do a live stream alone. Technically 3 attempts at alone, and they've all been failures. So I'm trying. It's just a hard series to film because like it takes a lot of time, and there's not too many locations that can that are remote enough or secure enough for me to like actually successfully do an alone in. But I definitely want to rebirth that series, and trust me when I say I'm looking at it and I'm trying. A lot of Ontario Urbexes. I know. I feel like nowadays everyone like there's just it's so rampant here in Ontario. But I feel like when I started there was like one other person doing Urbex, but nowadays it's like it seems like everyone is there in their own little Urbex troop, which is fine. It's great to see the community growing. It's just some troops vandalize, which isn't great, and it kind of like ruins it for everyone else, you know. But that's just like in any hobby. There's always going to be those ones that just kind of play by their own rules and ruin things. That's so real. I've gotten into a lot of things out of spite. I feel that, Allison. It's not Epstein Mall, Catherine. I think it's called Upstein's. It's still up and standing too. Yeah, it's standing to this day. I love that you call it Epstein's. That's what I thought Dan was originally calling it when we first were going there. What do I do to cheer myself up? Smile says. Well, I look at your comments, Smile, because you make me smile. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, if ever I'm feeling down, I'll usually just like throw on a show and just like make myself some comfort food and just put on my fireplace and like throw on a blanket and just make myself comfy and cozy. But if I can't do that, I usually start thinking about like interesting things that I'm going to do in the future or things that I'm excited for. And then that kind of like cheers me up. And it's the same kind of like in Abandoned Places where I said like you kind of have to distract your mind from any bad thoughts if you're doing like a solo explorer or like stressed out or whatever. You kind of just distract yourself with other things, and then eventually you forget why you're sad in the first place. I have to go, but it was great hearing you. Hope you have a great day. Well, Mars, I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry to see you go, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening or morning or wherever you are. But thank you for tuning in. Thanks for every advice you gave me, by the way. Of course, Smile. That's what I'm here to do. Advice giver and professional hooligan, if that's a title. Love Haley. Allison says, yes, Haley Williams is an icon. Would you ever do one of those streams like KCO does where he ranks K-pop songs as a guy who knows nothing about K-pop? Honestly, like, why does he listen to the K-pop songs and then he'll rank them based off of that? I'm honestly open to any ideas about that. Like the thing is, I feel like where I'm lacking in terms of streaming is I don't have a lot of stream knowledge. I've researched the technical sides of everything, and I've been trying to get like as streamlined as possible, but I don't actually watch like other streamers other than like the occasional Germa, Doug, or Atriox stream. So I feel like I need to like diversify and start watching more of what other people are doing and bring that sort of like inspiration, or use that as inspiration to bring back to my own sort of content. So if you have streamers that you guys enjoy watching, by all means, let me know. Or if you have streams that you like watching, or a funny stream or something that happened, feel free to share it in my Discord down below, and I'm always, or just even let me know in chat. And I'm always looking for new inspiration, new things to watch. Like I feel like I need to do a lot more research and development before we can officially, what's it called? We can get that premium content, you know? I'm trying to always improve. My goal that I set for this channel was just to upload as consistently as possible and keep trying to improve, make every stream better than the last, you know? And I feel like that advice can go out for anyone looking to start out on YouTube. That's how I started my Uncharted Travel channel. Was I just set myself a goal where I was like, okay, I want to upload once a week consistently, and I want to always look to improve from my one video onto my next video kind of thing. Always keep working. And I did that for a full year. By the end of the year, Uncharted Travel was at 10K, and that was like kind of a very good foundation to start building a channel on. If you ever go to the Netherlands, you should go to the Thunderdome if you like raves. I've heard about that. My buddy Mo, actually, the chef, he's been backpacking all through Europe, and he went to the Thunderdome, and he said it was an unforgettable experience. Missed ya. Hope your trip went well. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. I missed you too. Man. You gotta come back to Toronto sometime soon. We can do some more rooftop bars and patios. Oh, Dan's here. Are you going to Dan's Bell's house on the 22nd or 23rd? Are we going on a road trip? Sorry, I can see your comments, Dan. I was just up a little bit too high already, because I was just catching up because I was answering some of the Q&A comments. I'm very slow and methodical with these comments here, but I am definitely going to be making my way down towards you, Dan, at the end of September. I've prepped the people. They're all very excited and happy. We are going to be doing some great live streaming, documenting, filming. I'm definitely stoked for a big road trip. And yes, we are definitely going on a road trip, Dan, my man. Like I said, I missed you a lot, and I definitely want to get some more filming and some more stuff done because I miss you, Dad. But yeah, no, this is just kind of like tuning in with this Q&A here, but I hope you're what's it called? You're also excited and you get your truck fixed. I know you had having some issues with your truck. I hope it's all good now. But yeah, no, I definitely want to come down at the end of September, and I'm gonna drive down, and we're gonna be streaming, filming, having a good old laugh, hanging out, podcasting, all that fun stuff. All right, let me scroll back up to the top. Sorry, I just saw Dan's here. I'm just trying to get back through. I'll rifle through some of these. Okay, do you have a comfort show or movie or book? Currently, I'm working my way through Outer Banks and The Walking Dead. Those are my two right now. You love Princess Bride, Allison. I'm glad you do. Will you start doing vlogs on this channel? I've thought about it. I'm thinking potentially doing like shorter little videos. I don't know if there'll be vlogs, but I definitely want to I want to hike to Whitby, which is it's going to take about 3 days to hike from here to Whitby. And I want to do like urban hiking. So all just through cities and stuff. And I want to videotape that process. I don't know if that'll be like a vlog style, but that'll just be like a fun video. Do I like snails? I can't say I really have an opinion about snails, but sounds interesting. Can you watch The Watcher? How big is your TV and service do you use? I use Bell. I don't have any cable though. I just have internet because I use like Netflix for my streaming and stuff like that. But I've never seen The Watcher. I will give that a watch. Have I eaten poutine? Yes, I love poutine. Those of you tuned in the stream, you know I'm a big poutine connoisseur. I like my fries all nice and dressed up with anything, to be honest. Ranch dressing is good too with fries. If you have ranch, all dressed sauce, and some bacon bits and chives, delicious. It's nice you stream on days I don't work as it happens. Hey, that's perfect. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, I unfortunately, because like when I started Tuesdays and Thursdays, my old rec leagues, like my sports leagues, were usually Mondays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. But then both of them actually shifted over to Tuesdays, Thursdays this year. So it's just been like me trying to avoid streaming on days where I have hockey or soccer or whatever. Blue Powerade is the best. That's true, Aflad. Giga Chad Sands says hello, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you here. Great Powerade slaps. That's also true. Those are probably, honestly, you guys nailed my top 2 flavors right there. How are your bowling skills? Sober bowler, horrible. Drunk bowler, best bowler in the league. I'll shoot above 100, 200 all the time. No, I'm kidding. Usually shoot about like 120 when I'm drunk, and then when I'm sober, I shoot about like 80. But yeah, I don't know. Those aren't really great bowling scores, but not bad. Were you insecure about anything? I mean, nothing crazy out of the ordinary. I mean, I feel like anyone's insecure about, or like a lot of people are insecure about like various things, but I had like just the common like insecurities as a kid growing up. Like, will this person like me? Do they like me? Do they not like me? I mean, I guess I'm insecure about being forever alone. Always afraid that that's gonna be my destiny. But I won't ramble about my sad love life on the publicly on the live stream here. I feel like that's not the most interesting topic. But yeah, no, I mean, insecurity wise, right now, I'm currently not really insecure about like anything too much. I mean, just have the standard worries that everyone else has, I guess, like bills, food, stuff like that, basic survival needs. That's basically just standard stuff. But growing up, yeah, I guess everyone's insecure about their looks, whether people like them or not, whether they're accepted. But after high school, I feel like all that stuff just sort of goes out the window, and you kind of just join the adult world where nobody really cares about all those trivial matters, you know? Do you dance at bars with a partner? I definitely dance at bars, not always with a partner. We had at Guelph, there was the most famous club was called Trappers. And they had on the dance floor, they had like a little box that was like elevated above everything else. It was, I wouldn't call it a stage because it could only probably fit 2 people front and back, but like you could fit maybe like 14 like all the way across. And I'd get up on there and I'd bust a move all the time. But they did say my dancing moves were so fierce that they'd scare all the girls away. So I was definitely an aggressive dancer out there on the dance floor. Whether I was good or not, it's up to your own opinions, but I definitely went out and gave it my all, that's for sure. Yo, is that your Python code book? Where are you seeing behind me here? No, I actually don't have the Python, I think it's called the Python Bible or the Python code manual. In the background, that's honestly just a box of t-shirts, my broken laptop that I'm taking apart and trying to repair because there's something wrong with the power supply, and then the cottage cup. Those are in the background there, some of those items. But do I watch SML, Super Mario Logan? I have never heard of them, Tyler the Meme Hog, but I will definitely check them out for you. And welcome to the stream. I think this is my first time seeing you comment, but happy to have you here. James Hutchinson, I think this is my first time seeing you too, brother, but happy to have you on the stream. He says, do you still drink a lot? Yes, I mean, I more so casually enjoy, and then like whenever like I'm going to a party or something, I definitely have my fill of alcohol with my friends, but I feel like I'm usually able to drink within a reasonable amount and enjoy myself rather than just like blacking out or anything. The blue stuff or the white stuff? Are my questions annoying yet? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Chad, but no, I'm never annoyed by questions. Thanks for checking out my questions, dude. Being fun? Of course, Nathan. I'm glad to have you here, and I'm happy you're enjoying the Q&A. If that was you heading off for the night, I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful sleep. Nathan, how are you doing today? Just saying hello. Well, hello, Nathan. I'm doing good. It's been a busy past couple days for me, but making my way through, and I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. Dan in chat, he listens to clips. Yeah. Oh, I see. Allison's talking to Dan there. I can see your comments, Dan. I'm not sure if you're still around or not. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was just catching up on everything. You're a great new YouTuber. Well, thank you, Nathan. You're a great friend and comrade in the in the chat here. I always enjoy seeing you and hearing from you. Dave Gentry, hello. Hi, Brennan. Hope you and Dan film some good stuff when you visit. Can't wait to see you two together again. I know, I'm very excited. It's been way too long. Like, honestly, last time I saw Dan, I think was in like 2019, like before COVID. So we were like, we still phone call and stuff every now and again, but it's just been absolutely crazy. Just the fact that we haven't seen each other in person for so long. I'll find some clips and send them in Discord for you. Well, thank you, Allison. I appreciate that. I need some good inspiration. Dan, where are you going this Saturday night? I think Dan's been driving around. I'm not exactly sure where he's headed, but I think he headed to Pennsylvania recently. But he usually drives around Baltimore. He's a bit behind in the comments. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just catching up. Jamie says road trip. Catherine says woo. Smiley says, did you ever sleep with plushies? And if you did, when did you stop sleeping with them? When I was like young, when I was like, I think probably like up until about maybe like age 10 or age 8. I don't know. I used to have a really like furry teddy bear that I used to sleep with. Never really gave him a name. He was just like a brown teddy bear with a bow tie. And then I had another one that had a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. They would just kind of like frequent around my room, but they were just kind of like decorative in my room, but I never actively slept with plushies. I was always the guy, if you went over to like a girl's house or whatever and she had all those squishmallows all over the place, I would like just like punch each and every one of them and kick them all around the room and stuff, and like, or like suplex them onto the bed and like start wrestling or like dive on top of them and crush them. I was always that kind of guy. So if you have a plushie collection, definitely hide it from me if I ever find my way into your abode, because they'll be going for the smackdown, that's for sure. Afflehat says just posh chips and gravy. That's true. I mean, you gotta have the cheese curds melted over it too. That kind of like adds to the effect. Anthony says, hey B, do you like any game shows? If so, which ones do you like, past or present? I was a huge fan of Takeshi's Castle. I don't know if anyone watches like old Japanese game shows, but that was always on when I was sick, and I loved watching. I like half the time I didn't even understand what was going on, but it was just like a crazy fun experience to watch. I've loved Big Brother growing up as a kid too. I always wanted to participate in one of the seasons, especially when they came out with Big Brother Canada. I got really stoked. I'd always watch that with my parents. And in terms of other like reality / game style TV, I love watching Life Below Deck. That's like my like kryptonite there. And I absolutely love that one because as like growing up, I always wanted to be like a merchant mariner. I always thought it'd be really cool to work on ships, travel around, maybe work on a yacht or something. And just seeing the behind the scenes of that and how crazy it is, it honestly looks like such a fun, surreal job. Like I feel like if I wasn't in film, I'd probably be out traveling on boats and stuff, trying to find my way around the 7 seas as a sailor, you know. Shoot 100 meters up in the sky. I don't know what you mean by that, FRS. Maybe if I had a cannon here, I'd launch myself up and try and survive, you know. Diva Kitty, hello. Hey Brennan, can't wait for you and Dan to get together. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for that too. It's been a minute, like I said, and I'm very excited to just make some fun, creative stuff with my long lost friend Dan. I missed him so much. And I feel like I feel bad because I didn't get to his questions in time when he was in the chat and he probably left. But if you are still here, Dan, I love you and I miss you. And I can't wait to see you. Ragshot says, you should talk about your dance partner at the Madison. I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about for a minute here. But on St. Patty's Day of this year, we, for whatever reason, we were at my buddy's sister's place. And we all had some drinks. We were all just like having a good time. And for whatever reason, we were going out to to rally for last bar because we were doing bar hopping all throughout the days. And for whatever reason, I grabbed the toaster out of her kitchen and I was like, Renee, can I bring this to the club? And she's like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like we need it. And she's like, all right. And I was like, I can't promise you I'll bring it back though. And she's like, you better bring it back. And we brought it through. We somehow like we brought it all the way downtown through the Uber. And then we got it like to the club and they were doing like the classic like pat down or whatever. So I said to my buddy, I like put it on the top of my jacket. I was like, stand behind me and hold the toaster up my jacket. So while security pats me down so we can like sneak it into the club. And he's like, okay. And instantly security like reaches their hands up and feels the toaster. And they're like, what is this? And I was like, oh, that's just my toaster. And she's like kind of like dumbfounded for a minute. And then she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's my toaster. And I pulled it out and showed her. And she's like you could see she was like clearly shocked that I had this like big white toaster that's like, why would you try and smuggle that into a club? I have no idea. I was just drunk. But then she's like, why do you need that? And I was like, I just want to toast some toast, you know? And she's like, looks at me, looks at her like security guard partner and looks back at me. And she's like, all right, lets me in. And I smuggled the toaster into the bar. We took photos with a photographer with it. And then we even took another photo of the photographer just by himself with the toaster. We took it on the dance floor, dancing around. We took it to the piano bar. We were doing shots out of it. And the piano guy even like stopped his performance to like call us out and like, are you guys drinking out of a fucking toaster? And then everyone kind of like looked at us. We brought it on the dance floor. We were like swinging it around. I was in the middle of the dance circle, swinging it around like doing like jump rope over it pretty much. And then we bartered. We were going to trade it for a drink. We tried trading it for a drink. The guy was going to accept it, but then we felt like the joke hadn't really lived itself out yet. So we just like kept it with us. And then we went back to the dance floor. I handed it off to my buddy's sister's friend. And then like, she was like swinging it over her head, which was like a big no-no because that could like seriously injure somebody. So then security got involved and she instantly like hot potatoed the toaster over to me. And so I just like the security instantly like, is this your toaster? I was like, yeah, okay. And they're like, come with us. And they were going to kick me out. And I was like, one of them was just wanted me to get rid of the toaster. And the other one was like, just like one of those like tough guy bouncers that just wanted to like assert his dominance and throw you out of the bar regardless. But I was like, I was drunk. I was in a good mood. I was happy. And I was like, oh, hey, Google, stop. I'm sorry. Like I said, I have a short amount of time because I do have soccer in about 30 minutes. So I'll wrap it up here, but if you have any last minute questions, I'll machine gun through them after I wrap this story up. But basically, I was talking to the two bouncers, and the one guy was like, you need to leave, you need to get out of here. And the other guy's like, I mean, you just need to get the toaster out of here. And I was like, well, okay, how about this? Like, because obviously it's not my toaster. I'll give you guys $10 and I'll go and put it near the exit. And then like on my way out, I can still grab it and take it back. And the other guy's like, no, you can't do that. You need to get him out of here. Like, this guy's just drunk. And the other guy's like, I'll take $10. So I gave him $10 and then he let me put the toaster just outside the exit. So I got back inside. My friends were like ecstatic to see me back in the club. And then there's video of me even like carrying the toaster out of the club back to my friend's house, and the toaster made a full circle round trip to the bars. But that is the story of the toaster saga. I do have video and pictures, which you guys are interested, I'll send them in the Discord, which the link to that is in the description below. If you haven't already joined our Discord, we have lots of fun community stuff, and you'll stay up to date on all of our streams there. But that's basically the night of the toaster saga that FRS was asking about. How does the United States compare to Canada, James says? Okay, I'll get through these questions a little bit faster, but because I'm sorry, but I do want to get through everyone's questions. The United States compares to Canada. It's definitely, I feel like between towns in Canada is a lot more space. Like it takes a lot longer to drive anywhere in Canada, but I feel like also, I don't know, they're very similar. I just find I feel a little bit safer in Canada. Not to speak bad of the States or anything. I think it's just me living and growing up in Canada my whole life. I feel more comfortable being up in Canada and being around like that sort of like environment. I just feel like when I'm in the States, if I get into trouble or if something happens, I'm at a little bit more of a disadvantage because I'm not from the country. I think the States definitely has a lot cooler architecture, and they have a lot of really cool towns and cool spots that Canada doesn't have. And they have a lot more options, like food options, grocery options, shopping, all that sort of stuff. I feel like Canada's definitely just gets like the trickle down companies that want to come up from the States there, because there's like obviously a lot less population in Canada. But I think they're both great in their own ways. Where's the farthest you've ever traveled? I did a 14-day road trip with my friends to New Zealand. I actually have sort of like a highlight reel of that on Uncharted Travel. I was gonna come out with a full series, but I just feel like it didn't really mesh well with the channel. Never ended up releasing that, but there is a highlight reel. We did so much. We did biking, hiking, bungee jumping, cave spelunking, whitewater rafting, went through waterfalls, all this crazy stuff, and we packed it all into 14 days. We went to all the Lord of the Rings sites, all that fun stuff. How did I first meet Dan? I actually first met Dan through Jake, the owner of Bright Sun Films, if you don't know who Jake is. But in 2016, Jake and I went down to a road trip to Detroit, where Dan, Rick, and Will were filming some ADR, and they asked us to come and join them. Mainly, they didn't know me, but they mainly knew Jake. And the first things I ever said to Dan, without even knowing who he was, I just said, can I call it? We pulled in to this motel or hotel at around like 1 a.m. Dan's outside smoking a cigarette, and I pull up, roll down my window to say hello, and the first thing I say to Dan is, can I call you my dad? And he just says, fuck off. And then I went and parked, and I'm sure he thought I was just gonna be some weirdo, but yeah, we ever since then we became really good and really close friends. Keshi's Castle narrated by Craig Charles. Exactly, Aflad. Only the real ones know. You have the theory that everyone is pretty unique in their own way. I think everyone has their own complex life and problems and everything. I 100% believe that. Everyone has their own like everything, or everyone has something different going on, and I feel like everyone has like a unique and complex life of triumphs, problems, all that sort of stuff. Everyone has their own life, and every life is different. I was responding to your bullying question when I said the 100 meters comment. Oh, very fair. Perpetual travel, also quite Aquarian. That is true. Is that the Aquarius way, Jamie? I'm not too big in astrology. I don't really know what the symbols mean, but I just know that I am an Aquarius. You may have mentioned earlier, but are you planning on filming any more alone videos soon? Yes, I'm hoping to get one out for Halloween. I'm unsure if I'll be able, like, I don't want to make that promise yet because I have failed the last 2 times I've tried, or technically 3 times I've tried to film it alone. But I'm hoping that by Halloween I'll have a video out for you guys. I have a bunch of locations in mind. I just have to actually get out there and do it and survive. How often do I go to the gym? Right now I'm kind of lacking. I'd say I go like maybe once a week. I'm active in sports. I play sports maybe 2 to 3 times a week. But yeah, the gym I've really been lacking, unfortunately. But I as I get less busy, like in the fall and the winter, I'll be going to the gym a bit more, and I definitely want to get some size back. Jack says, you have mentioned, oh, I already answered that question, sorry. When are you coming back down to Florida? We need to hang out. Hopefully in the near future. I mean, I used to frequent that place pretty often, and I know a couple people down there, along with yourself, that I've been promising for the longest time that I will come back down and I will come visit. And I'm hoping maybe sometime in 2025. I really do want to get down there. I just feel like in the winter it's not like the greatest to. I don't really travel too much in the winter, but maybe I'll become a snowbird and escape to the warmer Florida in the winter. You can't do the chase money glitch in Canada. The States is better. That's true, FRS. That is very true. E-money, why do you keep dead bodies in your closet? Are you in the mafia? My closet is actually overflowing with dead bodies, so if you know a good place to store them, the mafia won't help me out, even though I'm a member, as you just said. But that's our secret between me and you, chat. And sorry if I'm rifling things off fast right now, it's because I should probably start getting ready for soccer very soon. Do you lift at the gym? No, I just sit around and look at all the pretty girls that walk by. No, I go to the gym to work out. I'm not one of those creepy guys that just hits on all the girls there. Definitely lift. My favorite day, I definitely like chest day. I feel like is the most rewarding. I definitely do arms the most though. I fall into that trap of just kind of like, I don't know, working on on back and buys. But that's what was I gonna say? Basically, my short lifting explanation there. Favorite color, blue. I like baby blue, like my eyes. That's definitely a great color. Biggest fear? I don't know. I don't really have any like super fears. I definitely like have like the natural innate fears of like heights, but like it's not like crippling. Like I can definitely walk to the edge of like a skyscraper if I needed to. I used to be afraid of the dark. That's why I got into Urbex. I used to be like really afraid of heights. That's why I got into rooftoping. And I feel like my fears aren't that prevalent because every time I have a fear, I just try and like chase it head on. And I feel like that's a good way to sort of live your life, you know? Ever got a woman's perspective on why you might have romance issues right now? I've talked to like friends, girlfriends, but not really too in depth into it. I don't know. I've just, I don't really know the issues. I feel like maybe it's just bad timing, bad luck, or maybe it's just me, you know? Sometimes I feel like after enough times, you just got to accept that maybe you're the problem, but I haven't talked about it too much. I don't know. His closet is like Amnesia basement with those bodies. Exactly, Aflad. Abs and leg day is the worst. Yeah, I'm definitely very bad with legs and leg day. But James Hutcherson said, did you see Dan Bell recently? I've called him recently, and I recently went on a podcast with him, so I'm pulling up some of the last Q&A ones that I'll rock through quickly. But I haven't seen him in person since like 2019. It's crazy. Would you rather be trapped in the elevator and stuck for 2 hours with a gassy person or sleep in a bed covered in piss? Probably sleep in the bed because you get a rash. The gas, I feel like, would just be like unbearable. But at least like the bed, it would suck. But like once you're out of it, I feel like you'd be less traumatized than the gassy elevator because that like kind of nukes all your sinuses versus you would just get like a skin rash if you were in a bed. When are you coming back down to Florida? Oh yeah, you already answered that. Hopefully soon in 2025. Eggs boiled or fried? Are you satisfied as long as you get a kiss? What? I don't know what you're talking about, Aflad. But I like my eggs scrambled. And I'll answer, let's see. I'll answer up to Dave's question here, and then I gotta call it. I'm sorry, guys. I know it was just a quick live stream, but there is a lot of interest, so I will do more of these face-to-faces because it seems like you guys are really enjoying. I'll plan out some better IRL streams, but yeah, no, I've had a really great time answering these questions here, and I'll definitely do this again. I'm glad you guys clicked in with that horrible thumbnail that I have that I made in Comic Sans. Can you handle spicy food? I cannot. The hottest thing I ever ate, honestly, is like one line Osmos. I can barely handle sriracha, but I'm trying to build up my spice tolerance. Dave says, don't settle for a woman who won't joyfully pick up your dirty underwear. Thanks for the advice, Dave. I appreciate it. I G to school tomorrow, so I want to get enough sleep. So bye. Well, bye, smiley face. I'm glad you were able to join us. And I think that's a pretty good note to end things off on. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm sorry it was so quick, but with all the participation and with everyone like watching and like wanting to join in with these like Q&A live streams, I see that there's interest. And if you are interested, leave a like in the description or down below to let me know that you're interested. And who knows, we'll do another one of these in the future. We'll catch up again. I think this is definitely a fun and easy format for us all to do, and we can just hang out, you know? I get to engage with you guys directly. But yeah, I'm sorry that I gotta go to soccer, but I love you all, and to all, a good night.